What's going on, you pencil pushers? It's Nick Daniels here, coming at you live, man, yet again. We got a bunch of things to talk about today, so without any further ado, let's just get right into it. I'm going to do a couple videos here, so this will be the first one of many, or a few anyway. Probably only like 3 or so, to be quite honest with you. It's not that much. I hyped it up a lot. So tonight we got an event, man. I paid for this about a month ago. It's a speed dating event with someone I haven't been with before. I did a video called The Matchmaker, and that's who it's through. So just for clarification, I have done 2 speed dating events prior. One was virtual, really bad, and I would never do it again. And then the other one was in person with a completely different entity, and it was actually quite well. It was quite good. So that kind of being said, for this evening, just so you guys get an idea, this will probably be about a 2 or 3 part video. What I mean by that is the first part is going to be now, so we're going to be talking about, it's about 2 hours away, so I got plenty of time to go make some videos, watch a little Riley Reid, and then, so then tonight I'll do the thing, and it's over at 10, about 10 p.m. We're probably, in the heat of the moment, going to make a video, because that's, I think, is a good idea, and we might do it driving, so we'll see how that goes. It's gonna be like fucking pitch black. Like, you probably won't see me at all in the video, but so that's the idea. So I want to talk about like how that initially went, and then we'll do a third as a follow-up, and what that'll be is the aftermath, which is like, did I get a match? Did anything even happen out of that, right? You find out the next day. So there's 12 guys and 12 girls going speed dating. It's through the matchmaker. So with the matchmaker, you got to jump through a couple hoops, and what I mean by that, I can't elaborate too much into, because obviously I don't really need to talk about the woman's business. But it's a woman, and she's got a couple things you got to do before you can even go to these events. And I've done those, so it's not like anybody just signs up randomly. You kind of have to have already done those, and I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more happy knowing that. Like, it's not just a bunch of randoms just paying $20. You get a free beer out of, well, a free beer, but you get a drink out of it. And like I said, you get 12 and 12, and you get 6 minutes per lady. I'm really fucking nervous. I just like fucking spit 20 feet. Oh, dude, I get really anxious. Like, I get really excited. You know, I gotta tone down that energy, because I'm gonna go in and just be like way over the top. Which is not going to be good. Now, funny enough, 2 people I know are going. 2 guys. So 2 guys are going. I've hung out with before, actually a few times, through another thing, which is Meetup, the app. So anyway, they're going to be there. It was really funny. We were all talking one night and just randomly figured out all 3 of us signed up to the same thing. So I kind of told them, like, just as a joke, but like also kind of serious. I was like, kind of pretend we don't know each other, you know? Because the first time I did speed dating, and I think I mentioned this in the video, I hope I did, is I got screwed over by my buddy, right? So I kind of want to go in not really pretending like we know each other, you know? Like, if that makes sense. I don't know, like, just walk in, like, give the nod to each other, but like, you know, give one of those, like flip a nod. But yeah, keep in mind, like, we're on our own entities. Anyway, we got a woman coming here. Honestly, fuck them. I should just film right in front of her. Who cares? I'm just keep rambling. Just gonna get stared down. Needless to say. So that's like 2 hours away, and we'll see how that goes. The other thing I was gonna say, just as a last note here on the first video. Yeah, so like I have to show up at exactly 8 o'clock. You like register in. I know there's like all this fucking COVID bullshit. Don't worry about that. That's all right. One sec. Put the camera down here for a minute. We'll just keep talking. Oh, she's sweeping. She's sweeping. All right, here we go. I think there's a lake up here anyway we're gonna go to. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. We're good. It's clear. Anyway, so we're gonna go to a lake up here, and we're gonna quickly wrap it up there. Try not to make this video too long, but it is gonna be a bit, because there's obviously gonna be things I want to talk about, especially after tonight. There's definitely gonna be something to talk about. Yeah, I'm just needless to say, I'm really looking forward to it. I was saying the COVID stuff though, it's stupid we even got to talk about this. But anyway, at least you don't have to like wear like bullshit masks and stuff, because like the women are just sitting down, so like they just sit down and drink, and then you just like walk around. So just in between walking to the next girl, which is about 3 feet, or whatever it is, like I guess 6 feet. But other than that, like you don't gotta put any of that shit on or anything, or like forced hand sanitizer. I think there is some of that, but that'll be all right. So like I said though, it's just gonna be, it's a 2-hour event. Just 12 girls. They get 6 minutes per girl to talk to. And I think there's an intermission at one point. So you do get like a 10-15 minute break where you can kind of just mingle. And if you, as the first time I've only done the speed dating, the first one I did, and not the virtual, in that break, you have time. Like you can keep talking to someone, right? If you want to extend that 6 minutes, you can just be like, hey, do you want to, just keep chatting and see where that goes. So anyway, yeah, last thing I'll mention, we'll cut her short, or cut her down for the next part, is automatically after, if you do get a match, you get a phone number and a first name. That way you can't just be like some fucking neckbeard and be like, oh, and and go online and find her, like on Facebook or something, the old fuck book. So that way it's really not that bad, and it's not like, again, when I did it before, you get an email, which is kind of annoying and pointless, because also a lot of people don't even check that shit. So like, it's just annoying. But yeah, anyway, further ado, like I said, that's about that. It's a 2-hour event. The online one I did actually was literally like 20-30 minutes. It was fast. Like it was 4 girls and like 6-7 minutes, I think, which was way too long, which was too long with some of them, man. I was like, holy crap, how do I tap out? But at least in person, I find it's pretty easy and it's very quick. But online, it was a struggle. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. Part 2 will be immediately after this in this same video. But for me, yeah, that'll be about 4 hours from now, and we'll update you on the way home. What's going on, you fiddlers? Nick fucking Daniels here, coming at you live, man. It's about 11 p.m. at night, and this is part 2 of the speed dating video. We'll try to keep this a little concise with that time, but I might not be able to get that happening. So we're sitting in like basically a Wendy's parking lot watching the drive-thru. See, that's Wendy's. Just because I'm a fat slob. Anyway, so we did the speed dating. That's officially over, and we are now just recuperating and moving on. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm going to leave out a couple key details, obviously, not to give everything away, and then we'll possibly do something tomorrow. I might not even bother about like what matches if I get some matches or not, but overall I'm very confident there'll be a few minimum, because I just had a really good time with everybody. This has probably been one of the better experiences I've had in even dating in general, and I'm very surprised there. I'm because like my fucking dating life has been kind of ass, and like badass, like swamp ass. This one was actually like genuinely quite good. I showed up and I went to the wrong building. I couldn't even figure out where the hell it was. It's labeled on the wrong street on like Google Maps. And anyway, so I found another guy that was out, like he looked like he was in a button-up. It was a button-up, and he had his phone out, and he looked lost. So I was like, "Hey, brother, like you doing the speed dating?" And sure enough, he was. So we walked down the street together, and there was like 6 dudes outside of a building, which looked too, coincidental, because they were all like dressed nice. Pretty much everyone there was kind of the same. It was like button-up, nice looking shoes. Couple guys were just like polo shirts. One guy was literally just like t-shirt shorts. I just thought that was hilarious. I was like, man, you gotta you're supposed to dress up like a first date, and I totally get that maybe in the summer, but like, dude, come on. One guy had hit the blade, like the suit on and everything. Another guy had like the leather jacket. I was kind of jealous. I didn't wear the skin. So anyway, we're also out there mingling, and it's actually pretty good. Everybody seems pretty cool, pretty chill. And 2 of the guys I do know, I have met before, so I already know who they are, outside of the dating thing, the matchmaker. So I'm looking in the window, and I can already tell I'm intimidated because I can see that the women are sitting by themselves. They're at their own tables. So I didn't know how this was going to go. My first speed dating experience was all one table, and excuse me. And then it was a video. Then it was like the Zoom one. This one, they all had their own tables in the building. So it was all on the same floor. It was just like the whole room was divided so that everybody had their own spot. And you didn't have to wear a mask or anything. You could just sit down and talk to them. And then you just put it on, walked 5 feet, and then you got to the next one. Initially in the big room, it was really fucking loud. Like, I couldn't even hear the first girl. So like we were trying to talk, and like some of it I could make out, and it was it really sucked because she seemed really nice. It was just like it was hard to make out what she was saying on some of the things, and I just talk loud. So I was just like, yes, like fucking pizza. I don't know. There was a couple in there that I just wasn't really attracted to. And it's really hard to say because, like, when you're sitting, because, you know, like, it's hard to see someone, like, you know, who they, like, how tall they are, for example. Like, one of the girls I matched, and then I realized, I'm like, man, like, she's, like, way taller than me. Like, I don't know if I'm into that, you know, I could be, but, you know, it was like, I didn't know at the time, right? I couldn't make that out. And you don't know anyone's age either. So, like, you're kind of ballparking that. You don't ask, obviously. Yeah, so there's like a couple rules, but I didn't really go through the rule book too much there. You just have conversation. You just see where things go. A couple of them seemed a little too fast, and I don't know if that was actually timed. I think maybe like I think what it was is like sometimes the guy would sit there or the girl would, like the guy has to move, right? And then the girl just stays there. She just stays seated. So the guy hops to the next table. So I had to wait a couple times. So like, I think that's what it was. It would just cut into my time to go meet that girl. Because one of them, we both were like, dude, we didn't have 6 minutes. Like, we barely talked and the bell rang. And it was like, what do you do? There was a break. So there was like a 10-minute intermission, which was awesome, good to have. And I went through my first people, like I think it was like 6 people. I went through the first girls right there, and then I checked them off. Like I was like, okay, yes, no, because I didn't want to do it in front of them. And I think doing it in front of them might have been better because it's fresh in your mind of who you just talked to. Because at the end, it got a little confusing when I looked at the names. I was like, who the hell did I talk to? Right? Like who stood out to me? But I did remember like who I didn't click with and who I did. But I visually too was kind of misleading me. I was like, I can't remember on some of them. But the break was really good. So a bunch of people went outside and we all stood on the deck and talked. So a couple girls, a couple guys, and we went back in, and then you continued along. Apparently one guy didn't show. So unironically, the odd girl would just have to sit there and like do nothing, like play on her phone. And that happened a couple times, but one of the girls I talked to said it was really good, actually, because she said it was a great break, and that she could just kind of relax and have a beer and take it easy. Overall, like, yeah, I'll try to sum this up by 10 minutes. Overall, I had a really good time. All the girls are really nice. You know, even the ones I necessarily wasn't that attracted to. I think everybody kind of act like they all put effort into their appearance. I'm not saying, you know, you have to or you don't have to, but there was definitely like a few of the girls that were like, you know, maybe a little bit more dolled up than others, but like, that's kind of what I think to be expected. You put effort into your attire, right? You make yourself look kind of presentable for the event, and no different than me, right? Like I actually tried to look half decent. I didn't try to look like a fucking neckbeard, you know, like just a gremlin. So yeah, overall, can't complain. Really good time. Again, there's 13 people on the list. 13 girls, I think what it was actually. So I thought it was 12, but I do remember 1 to 13, so I guess 1 extra. None of which I even seen before. I was concerned about that. None of them I even really knew. 2 of them recognized me from the Meetup app. They were like, oh, hey, like, we're pretty sure we've seen you at this bonfire. And I was like, oh, fuck, I think so. So that was funny. One of them thought I went to school with her, and I was like, no. Because as soon as I said what school I went to, she'd never heard of it. And I was like, well, I've never heard of yours, so like, I have a doppelganger. And that was funny. And then there was one, we really hit it off, and we talked a little bit after. The last girl I talked to, which was funny, when the event ended, we just kept talking. And I noticed a lot of people did that. They just stood where they were, and they were like, okay, we're just going to sit here and keep chatting. And there's nothing against that. There's no rule like you had to like get up and leave immediately. So I probably got like 15 minutes with the last girl, where every other one I got 6 or like less. there was definitely a couple people, like, you could tell that were like a little more awkward. The first one is a little weird. And then you get in the role of it, and like you just ask the same things, like, you know, you're asking like, what are your hobbies, you know, maybe work or something, whatever. What the fuck? Guy's just driving right through the drive-thru. He just went to the window and just kept going. They probably closed. But yeah, so like, yeah, and that's how it goes, right? And the first one's a little awkward because you're just kind of getting into the spin of things. But then after the fact, like, I just settled in very well. And like, I noticed that with every girl I talked to, I'd be like, oh, hey, like, how's your night going? Yada, yada. And every time it was like you, after that, you get like, oh, like, quite well. Like, you know, first one was a little weird. Like, you know, that's always how it is, right? Because you don't know what to expect. So we'll see how the matches go. There was definitely a few girls that I was interested in, for sure. 6 minutes is really tough to kind of get an idea of who you're talking to, but there was definitely a few that I talked to that, like, our personalities were really good together. Like, I really got along well with them, and, you know, I really wanted to see if there was another opportunity to meet them. So tomorrow at some point, hopefully, I get an email, and I'm gonna get some phone numbers on it, and they're gonna say, here's a match or two. So I guess we'll go from there. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. I might come back tomorrow and just make a very quick update and just say, hey, we got a match. Hey, we didn't get a match. I'm sure we're going to get a